Well, howdy, folks. It's been a while. Welcome to Retsu Talk episode 25.
Hello.
A much delayed 25.
That's mostly my bad. I've been kind of really overbooked with stuff.
What's your excuse? Name one thing that would keep you from this,
the
zenith of your life.
Been playing Hotline Miami constantly.
That's actually a pretty good excuse.
It is, no. Not just schoolwork, all that crap. Home ownership. What a nightmare. No.
Trying to make something of your life, define yourself in some way.
Yeah.
Little loser.
Oh, jeez.
Why aren't you doing podcasts full time?
You know, I actually have a paper sort of due tomorrow, but I'm podcasting.
Well, you're going to transcribe it and turn it in.
Right. Well,
is the idea.
This is what's ridiculous. My professor's a little weird. He's like, we had this paper where he's like, it's due on Monday. And we're like, okay. And he goes, so make sure you bring a copy of it to class on Thursday, meaning the Thursday before the Monday, like tomorrow. We're recording this on a Wednesday. And we're all in the class like, wait, if it's due 3 days later, I mean, how are we supposed to, He goes, oh, okay, I'll give you bonus points if you finish it by Thursday. So I'm going for bonus points, so I don't know.
Wow, that's a really great story. How's Hotline Miami?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm on. Well, I mean, I've seen the Let's Play of it before, so the Something Awful Let's Play of it.
I did not know there was a thing of that.
There is. It's very interestingly done. I am blanking on the author, so I'm just looking it up real quick. But he kind of leaves in some deaths, not enough where it gets boring, but enough to kind of show up the difficulty. Tome, that's it.
And deaths, you don't really lose much time doing that. You just immediately reset and do it again, floor to floor.
Exactly. It's not as instantaneous as Super Meat Boy per se, but it's kind of close.
Yeah. It's enough to not make you just want to give up.
Exactly, yeah.
When you die a lot.
Yeah.
Though that being said, have you gotten past... I got the game several months ago. I got as far as I think it was a police station level.
Yeah, I just finished that last night.
You just finished that. That is the one I just got stuck on and stopped for a while.
That one was tricky, but I don't know. The one after it's really hard because it's kind of the second floor of it. It's like you get one little closet with a guy to get a weapon, and then there's just like this giant open space with guys, which is tough when they have guns then because they can typically see you before you see them. And
was there a particular mask you used on the first and or second floors that you found made it easier?
I'm a big fan of the Ted mask, which makes dogs not attack you, because dogs are typically my big problem. And one thing brought up in the Let's Play also is I always feel like an asshole killing dogs in video games. And especially with the Ted mask when they're not really attacking you. But you kind of have to do it to finish the level.
Well, then you're rescuing them.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
From this mortal coil.
Exactly.
I see. Okay.
Do you think they're happy living their lives attacking people who come in?
One thing I like doing, by the way, is that, in that game is also hiding a little alcove, drawing everybody in and just punching them. Like, not even grabbing a weapon, but just standing there and just hitting them and knocking them down over and over again.
Well, there's that mask you can wear that KOs people when you punch them, right?
I don't think I have that mask yet. I have the one where you can kill people by opening a door on them.
Oh, maybe that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
No, Rurs mentioned that you can kill people with a punch. There's a mask that does that. Speaking of Rurs, I have to thank him for getting me Just Cause on Steam.
Yeah, apparently it was 27 whole cents the day of that sale. So Rurs, thank you for sacrificing your parking payment for video game's sake.
I haven't played it yet, but I sure will.
Just Cause 2, it's fun. It's a good game, but it's one of those. And I think this is a personal problem, but it's just so open world that the world is vast. You can do pretty much whatever you want the moment you're in there, and it's overwhelming. Kind of like it's the same reason I never have played Skyrim or any of the Elder Scrolls games.
It's funny. That reminds me. That's kind of an issue I had with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas back in the day. Because that was a huge world. It was like, I think virtually it was like something crazy, like the size of California or something like that. But it was it's so big and there's no loading times, which is part of it. Because once you go out in the country, you're just spending a lot of times in transit going.
Yeah, long stretches of road.
Yeah.
I remember that. I think that's around the time where I stopped because I never beat the game.
Same here, actually.
Yeah. Well, Just Cause 2 is that magnified. Yeah. But it's still fun. You should give it a chance for sure. I mean, don't make Worse felt like he just flipped a quarter into the abyss.
I thought he gave me Just Cause 1, though.
Just Cause 1?
Yeah. Is there Just Cause? Like, just... I thought it was Just Cause. Well, I don't know. Let me take a look. I do have Steam open here, so library. Oh, I might not have gotten it from the GIFs thing. You have to, like, download your GIFs, right? Or something like that?
You know why Worse gifted you that, right?
No, why?
Just cause.
Speaking of
and
which,
that'll wrap it up for episode 25.
let's segue into something else.
Okay.
Because Verse had a request as well, which I don't know if I can fulfill. And his request had to do with
marriage.
Something we've been not in the state of New Jersey.
Not yet.
Maybe that.
Hang on, Chris Christie will bring it.
Maybe that douchebag from Sister Wives can help you out. But did you ever watch that show?
Mm-mm.
I hate that guy. Anyway, just a quick side note. But so you've been streaming as of late.
I have. I had been reluctant to start it because I thought, well, remember when we did Metroid Fusion?
Yeah.
And I would use a much less sophisticated method of streaming it. It was very choppy. You could barely see it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that was the best this southern internet technology could do. But in fact, software has gone leaps and bounds since then. And now if you're not on a Mac, you can do it quite easily. I use OBS.
I can stream.
Yeah.
I was trying to stream Hotline Miami, and I couldn't figure out how to get the volume right. But that's really more the game's fault.
And you're not even on Twitch. You got to have those Justin fellas switch you over.
Thank you for reminding me. I do have to do that. But yeah, so you've been starting. What is it called? The Beatus Beat.
That's what I've called it. Yes.
Yeah. And it's on Twitch TV /the_Beatus.
Mm-hmm. Same as my Twitter handle.
That's right.
And just kind of whenever the mood strikes me, I just play through a game, and it's very cash.
Typically Friday night. Excuse me.
Very cash.
Okay. Typically it's Friday night when you should be doing other things, but hey, whatever.
Sometimes Thursday, because the internet people, they gotta go places on Friday. They gotta party and get laid.
Very true. Yes.
Yeah. So Thursday is prime time video game entertainment hours, if I do say so myself.
But I think I joined you for 3 out of 4 of your last ones.
Something like that. Yeah. I don't know if joined is the right word. More like kind of invaded.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, with your own sort of content.
Well, what happened was you were playing Super Mario Brothers 2, really Super Mario Brothers All Stars.
I was doing very well.
Yeah, no, you're great.
Yeah.
No, it was late at night. There were a couple drinks involved. You weren't at your best. And I brought up this thing I had read the week prior, which I had discovered called Sonic.exe. And I discovered it on YouTube, actually. It's a video they made out of what is called creepypasta, which...
I still don't understand the nomenclature of that. So it's like, from what I understand, and I asked about this on my Ask FM page. You can ask things on your Ask FM, by the way.
Oh my god.
It's not just people asking you things, but you can ask in response to people who ask you.
Technology, how?
It's an infinite feedback loop. But so apparently it's an old, like it came from 4chan or something, where people would copy old stories and paste them into forums elsewhere.
Right.
But that's paste.
Well,
so why pasta?
Copy pasta. Well, it's like, I guess it's just what do you call it when like language sort of mutates and modifies as it goes? Like
stupid.
Right. It's sort of just transmutated from copy paste into copy pasta.
Well, the very first story was a real horror tale about Olive Garden.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and so it kind of morphed from there, is my understanding.
I see here. Or The Sopranos. Either way.
Creepypasta.
They don't talk. Oh, well, they do. But, yeah, so whenever horror stories got involved, that got transmogrified into creepypasta. And creepypasta, apparently, I don't read a whole lot of it, is just like sort of... internet horror short stories, sometimes accompanied with videos or imagery, but I encountered the video game section, which apparently even creepypasta authors consider really bad.
Wow.
Yeah, so you've probably seen it on our YouTube page, but yeah, so basically I started reading these stories over your stream, and they're really bad.
Very bad.
The one Verse wanted me to read now is there's two that are considered good, and and Verse wanted me to read one of them, and Admiral Curtis.
And those were ghostwritten by J.K. Rowling.
Absolutely. And Admiral Curtis also asked me, or told me about one that he considered good. But the first good one that I've heard of, which as I understand it, might even be one of the first creepypastas, is called Ben Drowned. And it's more or less a haunted Majora's Mask game. And
I've heard of that one, yeah.
They all follow the exact same formula, which is basically some guy goes to a garage sale or a flea market or some off-beaten place where they sell like used video games, and he finds the one video game and the label's ripped off or something's not quite right with it, and there's written in black magic marker, and he plugs it in and weird shit starts happening.
And you know, after a point, you gotta start using emulators. Stop going to these weird secondhand GameStops or whatever they're called.
But you know, like Proton John, like the guy who has like over 2,000. I don't know him either. He has like over 2,000 like video game cartridges. Like he probably has a haunted one for real somewhere.
Yeah.
And it'll kill him when he gets around to it, but fortunately he never will. But no, Ben Drowned, I haven't actually read, but I've seen some of the videos, and it's like he's got and I shouldn't even go into it because I don't really understand it, but apparently the big draw of that was the guy either hacked his copy of Majora's Mask, or as the author, or used Game Shark or something to supplement his gameplay experience with some sort of creepy kind of videos where he like modified the text a bit to actually say what it said in the story to give it some credence and some gravity, you know.
And did he do this before or after he drowned?
But after.
Okay.
He was dead. That's the twist. You know, allegedly, like, some kid died. His spirit, his ghost is in the cartridge, blah, blah, blah. The other one, which I have to say I came the closest to liking, was, which I don't, but it came there. It got close, was the NES Godzilla one, which is what Rursh wanted me to read. Which is, there's an NES game called Godzilla King of Monsters. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I've heard of the movie.
All right, well, it's a game based on it. And what I did like about it is it kind of kept... First of all, the guy who did it is a pixel artist, so he, like, draws the stuff he's seeing as well. You know, it says, like, I took screenshots as I went, and it includes GIFs, so that's at least some effort. But what I kind of like about it is it stays as plausible as something like that can stay.
So he didn't write anything?
Right. It's just a playthrough of Godzilla.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's just standard. No, like, the things that happen in it aren't, like, blood, you're gonna die, blah, 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 like, 100% of that, you know? It's, like, some weird shit just happens where he's like, wait, like, that Godzilla monster should have come out after the game came out.
So he doesn't drop in random video game mechanics details in the middle of the story?
He does, but, like, no, not like that, not like that. Like, he will be like, you know, like, I didn't want to choose Mothra because Mothra's, like, the stupidest character in this game, but this level forced me to for some reason. Like, it kind of, like, and then weird shit happens that's not even scary, but it's just out and out strange. And it gets a little, like, it's basically, like, it holds your interest. Like, you're kind of like, where the hell is he going with this?
Does it stack up to Goosebumps?
No.
Or Are You Afraid of the Dark?
No, because then eventually he does have to imbue the spirit of someone he knew who died, and that's where it kind of goes a little off the rails. And then the ending is like a final boss battle kind of thing, which really goes off the deep end. But it came the closest to like, all right, this isn't so bad, you know?
Godzilla's got his glasses on, flipping through the script, looking confused.
You know, it's one of those things, if you have a spare, like, half hour or 40 minutes, just like you're bored as fuck, and you absolutely cannot do anything productive or close to it, you might as well. No, it's nowhere near as bad as the ones we've been reading, though, which are just god-awful.
How deep does that rabbit hole go? How ubiquitous is this video game creepypasta thing?
Oh, there's, like, tons of them now.
As much as, like, a fanfiction, pretty much?
Not as much as that.
Or is it just a subgenre of fanfiction?
I think it's pretty much a subgenre of fanfiction. Well, I mean, the one we read about Reznor, you can tell, is pretty much self-insert, where the kid's being haunted, but then, you know, by the backwards, like, Isoi and, what was Mario again? It was Oiram? Yeah.
Oiram, yeah.
Yeah. Princess Peach kills me still. That was, like, this, like, Hiccup Snep or whatever it was. You can tell that was self-insert, because he's like, no, I'm actually going to kill you, cleverly using the... You know what I mean? Like, all that crap. You know, I mean, it's just... It doesn't really work on a lot of levels, because... Well, it just doesn't.
Any levels, really.
Yeah,
There are no levels that it works in.
I know. Like, you just can't make Sonic scary, for example. Like, you just can't. It's like, oh, he had a he killed Tails and he had a hyper-realistic smile. It's fucking Sonic. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, realism's kind of out the window at that point.
Yeah.
By the fact that it is a video game.
Right. Or, like, you know, some of the things they try to keep obscure, like those mythos, like, do you ever hear of, like, Suicide Mickey or Dead Bart?
No.
Suicide Mickey is allegedly like an old Disney.
I don't want to live anymore.
It's a Disney cartoon that like apparently drives people crazy if you watch the full 3 minutes of it. And apparently it's Mickey walking along Steamboat Willie's slide, and then at the end of the 3 minutes he like kills himself or something.
You know, it's like that hidden thing in Lion King where sex appears in the leaves or whatever. It's just one of those little hidden Easter eggs they add in there. Mickey kills himself. It's fun for the kids.
You know, it's like one of those silly internet stories, though, that, like, spread around and people added to it and said, like, oh, well, Walt Disney created blah, blah. And Dead Bart is a thing where if you look at The Simpsons, the way they number episodes, there's one missing from season 1, and it's allegedly an episode where Bart dies and is, like, sent to hell, and, or, I forget, like, he's all bloody and he's appearing as a ghost to the other Simpsons, and that
Well, at least there, that could be a Treehouse of Horror thing.
Well, it's, yeah, but it's, if you, like, look at, what is it? Oh, if you look on YouTube, somebody made, like, a Dead Bart video out of other episodes, like, they sort of colorized Bart, and it's the episode where they go to the funeral in season 1, and blah, 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 you know what I mean? It's like, it's just one of those things where they try to make it creepy, and it's like, what the hell is this, you know?
Right.
But my point being, I just think there's some things, like, you really have to work at to make them creepy, and then short stories just don't cut it. Like, there's Pokemon creepypasta. It just does not work. You cannot make Pikachu creepy, or Mew. It doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
But what if you choose horror?
But it's all the same. Oh, well, that is true.
Yeah?
You got me. You got me. You got me.
Yeah.
You need a lot of ambition to pull it off.
Oh my god. What a great segue.
So I got a segue.
Okay.
Yeah, it's awesome to ride. It's awesome to ride. No one would buy a Segway. Except for mall cops. That's the only place it's really picked up.
You'd fit in New York.
I don't think so. I've never seen anyone on a Segway in New York.
Really? You've never seen anything... Well, I'm not saying anyone with a Segway. In New York, I'm thinking anything more fucked up than someone riding a Segway, which you have seen.
I've seen weird shit, yeah. Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
So you ride a Segway, no one's going to give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Usually the weird shit I see is also at Port Authority. If you ever want to see weird shit...
I thought this was going to segue into a creepypasta.
No.
Okay.
Not exactly, though, but one time I was playing 999 for the Nintendo DS while waiting for my bus at the Port Authority.
Oh my god.
And I realized Junpei was a real character with real emotions, and I kind of teared up. That's another thing, too. Who the fuck, like, starts to cry when they realize the video game character died? It's a video game character.
I've never forgotten Eris to this day.
But you see them die all the time.
Final Fantasy VII now available on Steam.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's that kind of crappy PC port, though, that has all the shitty MIDI sounds and the awful battle sound effects.
Oh, yeah, Eidos made
But supposedly you can mod that out pretty easily.
Oh. But. Good. There is, by the way, Final Fantasy VII creepypasta, of course.
Oh, of course there is.
Yes, of course. Oh, Sephiroth.
Oh, Sephiroth-san.
What else?
You'd have to have a lot of ambition to play that.
Oh, hey, double segue. So I was writing 2 segues.
Oh, nice.
One on each, but let's start with some news about Ambition. It came to our attention that someone emailed Michael Gibson, the creator of the series.
A lot of people emailed Michael Gibson. We got several messages to that effect, and we tried to stay kind of quiet about that, just because we didn't want to encourage people contacting him in the first place, but he did say... One person just outright asked him, have you heard of Red Spray's videos? What do you think? And he said he thought they were pretty funny and that subscriptions to Zap Dramatic went up very rapidly around the time that our videos came out.
Yeah, so he described it as win-win.
Yeah. And he is, the important announcement part of that, is that he is working on, or at least in the brainstorming phases, of 5 or 6 more episodes.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah.
Because I think he knew that things got left on a bit of a cliffhanger there.
Nah, I don't mind Dale
with
going
that trial deal.
I don't mind Yale going to jail. Who cares? Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's good. It's always good to know that he isn't this isn't hurting his business, I guess. Or whatever,
yeah, definitely.
But But wow, Ambition's so friggin' weird.
I'm just trying to imagine the mindset of someone who watched one of our videos, who saw the end, and you're like, I want to see where this is going. Subscribe, pay.
Oh my God. It sounds like you're in a creepypasta with that ambient noise.
Oh, yes. Is that Michael Gibson?
Oh my God.
Is this a Michael Gibson I see before me?
And then Helen picked up the violin and smashed Yale on the head. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh! Classic negotiator tactic.
Apparently, though, Gibson's worked with gotten some awards in Canada for his whole negotiator ambition stuff, and worked with a couple universities on psychology and things like that. Canada
is several hundred years behind.
Yeah.
And, a lot of things, apparently.
It begs the question, what universe are we living in? It's tricky with Gibson, though, too, because I think he does some things to be intentionally funny. It's just that...
It doesn't gel, though, with this should be a tutorial for speaking and everything.
Yeah.
I just don't know what he's going for exactly.
It's hard. It's basically hard to know when his attempts at humor end and just weird shit begins,
Well, I think that was around the tryst part of Ambition.
Like, as I said, right. Well, it's like a silly example. If you remember, what is it? How to Get Out of a Speeding Ticket, we called it, but it was,
right.
Well, that's the one with the cop. Mm-hmm. Like, he starts off and he just bends over and farts for no reason at the beginning of it, right? Which is obviously just Gibson trying to evoke a cheap laugh or whatever, right?
Or just showing the player that you need to relieve tension.
Right.
Before entering a negotiation of any sort, especially with a police officer.
But you actually get out of this scenario by saying you're, like, an agent working for Mission Control, which, like...
Yeah, lie to the police. That's how you do it.
Even he must know would probably get you arrested.
Canada is a lawless wasteland, and they encourage this sort of behavior.
They only hire the most gullible people, and like crazy gullible. You can tell these fuckers anything. Yes, I don't know. It's just wacky land, the whole series. And
everybody in Canada is Dudley Do-Right, is my understanding.
It just got worse as we watched. I'm not like bad worse, but like stranger.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny because I think he very desperately wanted to get you to empathize with Ted, and it just can't happen.
Well, Ted was more or less the character that represented Gibson, right? You can kind of they kind of look alike, sort of.
I never saw a picture of...
There's someone linked us a video of an interview with Michael Gibson where he talked about his Zap Dramatic thing.
Does he have the little tiny goatee thing?
I can't remember, but there's you'll see it.
I see. But, that's the whole issue, right? Where it's like, Ted starts out that he strapped a bomb to himself, and then even in the psychological, he's like, I'm not sure why I strapped a bomb to myself, but I woke up at the chaos, my kids were missing, blood was on the walls. And it's like, he's still not selling it, so then it's like, okay, well, maybe he was injected with a drug that made him kind of do that. Or someone strapped the bomb to him while he was asleep. Started
out with a certain idea, and then, I don't know, kind of like that whole mid-season thing of a television show, you just totally veer off course and do something else.
Right, it's like...
Like a Lost sort of thing.
I think the feedback he was getting, everyone's like, Ted's fucking crazy. And he's like, no, you're supposed to change your mind and realize Ted's being manipulated. And then like 6 episodes he goes, yeah, this is not working at all.
And of course, when we get to the episode where you diagnose Ted, then, I totally fell for him.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That's where he wins you over, no matter what you do.
It's funny, though, my favorite character in the series shifted a lot. Because, it was Ted for a little bit, and then he started doing...
And then at the end, it immediately became Duke.
Yeah. I went through a Yale phase, a Helen phase, back to Yale. Angie was never quite there. But,
right.
Yeah, Duke steals the fucking show.
Really does, with that one line.
It's crazy. Well, then he keeps it up with that guitar riff green orb thing. Like, I'm not even sure what that was. Like, what was he even going for there?
And again, what did Canada recognize the series for, or did they only watch the first part?
I'm not sure, honestly. All his negotiator stuff gets crazy too, like the Lusty Barfly, where you get shot if you do the wrong thing, or
right.
Yeah, I don't quite.
The sanest episode was the one that was too boring for us to actually post, that customer service one.
Yeah. Like, even that one's a little unrealistic, but
it's a little unrealistic, but it's more or less, you're talking to a customer service person.
Yeah. 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 It's on Newgrounds if you want to check it out. It's the one kind of funny thing about it is if you get it wrong too many times, the Vagrant comes in and like gives you hints. But
another weird thing is that the art style of that one is a little bit different for the characters, and you can see that in the trial scene where it just pretty much copy and paste the characters from previous episodes. Mm-hmm. And the customer service lady looks really different than everybody else in terms of... Yeah.
Somebody pointed that out, like, because a lot of people are like, how is the art getting worse? It's actually not. It's that he's
just lazy.
He's importing so much stuff from previous things that as his art style changed, it just creates this wholly inconsistent look and feel to things, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess more power to him that he's found some measure of success with this stuff, but what a weird fucking...
Has he found success? That's what puzzles me so much.
I mean...
Because he hasn't... So, okay, he hasn't made a new episode since 2006.
That's true.
And people are still subscribed to the website and paying?
But he did make one about the Haiti, the earthquake in Haiti, so he's still around, you know?
Well, Wait, what?
He made a sort of negotiator kind of game around the earthquake in Haiti. I did check it out. It's mostly photos of that, and it's pretty obviously not great material to riff on. So
understandable, yeah.
Right? Yes. But he did do one that was all 9/11 footage, which is going to be a hilarious video coming out tomorrow.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
And it's kind of tasteless how he just imports Duke's line and copy and paste it so many times in that video. It's just not.
You mean the one about being the long arm of the law?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. Sir, this is a closed marriage council. I love Duke now. But also he has Sir Basil Pike, which we're currently in the middle of.
Yeah, so after he did not finish that first series, he was so inspired, he took some of his characters and made more stuff about, I think it's about not anti-bullying?
It's supposed
Even though he has your character do bullying?
And the later stuff doesn't really involve bullying. Bullying's kind of like
right, then it just involves rock.
Yeah. Yeah, that... Alright, so I don't know if Janina is supposed to be his daughter, but that music song, that song appears twice in the game, and once in it's the song for the preview of the game. So I have a theory that Janina's song is actually his daughter's song, and Sir Basil Pike, just besides bullying, is also there to promote his daughter's band.
Which Canada's a big fan of.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Which I don't know it has a name. It might be Sir Basil Pike for all I know, but...
The band actually called Ambition Babies.
You might as well call it Ambition Babies.
Might as well.
So yeah, Ambition seemed like a successful series on our end, I guess.
People seem to like it. Lots of fan art and such came back from it.
No, absolutely.
Which is usually a good sign of people enjoying stuff.
Yeah, I think so. So I have the second episode in my video studio. I just have it, you know what I mean, my like recording software.
Yeah, your studio.
Right, yes.
You record everything in a studio that you rent. It's weird.
AKA my bus on the way to work. But I just haven't had time to put episode 2 together, so. Sure. And we might be spacing things out some more, you know.
Transition?
If you like. We're trying out a new method of video updating.
Thanks to words of wisdom from your best friend Total Biscuit.
Oh my god, here we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I guess, yeah. How did that come up? Oh, we had put up... Oh, the first Creepypasta video. Well, we had put it up, it was like half an hour long, which is longer than our usual Red Super videos. And, you know, the next one I was ready to put up, and I had, it was a half hour long, and the third one was an hour long, you know? And I was just kind of like, when it comes to longer videos, I'm like, do I want to push it up, like, the same day as the 30-minute video, the day after? Should I give people a little while to watch it? Like... Because,
in theory, there's no reason you shouldn't just put it up immediately, because it's there all the time. It's not going or it's all on demand and free, so...
Well, let me rewind a bit. I did meet Total Biscuit in real life.
Here we go.
A couple months back. No.
Okay.
And this is a funny story, actually, because... Do you remember Darkside Phil?
Of course.
Yes, the one who said that you and I don't make creative Let's Plays, even though I'm the one who dissed him and you had nothing to do with it, really.
Sure, right, yeah.
Yeah. Or me and Cheese him, rather.
I was very hurt by that baby-faced bearded guy.
Yeah. One time I tweeted him or something like, I think you need to take your medication or something. And Total Biscuit's like, uh-oh, here we go. And then I was like, okay, I'm just kidding or whatever. Because the minute that I saw his tweet back, I was thinking, wait a second, what if that's actually accurate? You know, and I'm not saying that to diss the guy or whatever, but it was one of those things where I'm like, you know, maybe I don't want to go there. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
right.
To be fair, though, Darkside Phil is kind of like the Duke of Let's Play.
Yes, more or less. But when I met up with Biscuit in real life, I said, okay, what is Darkside Phil's deal here? And he kind of laughed, and he's like, okay, this guy, he makes Let's Plays, obviously. You know his deal. But he has a fan base, but he basically puts up 20 videos a day. So he just records himself, like, hours and hours long sessions, cuts them up into 20-minute chunks, and pushes, like, everything he fucking has.
Right.
And he's like, and he goes, I've even told him, like, this is crazy, you're shooting yourself in the foot, your fans cannot possibly keep up with that, you know? So that's the other extreme, where you say, maybe I put up one video a week, maybe I put up 20 a day, what's like, what can people take? And the truth is, I mean, obviously it depends on the person. Some people really don't have much to do in a given day and can watch 3 hours of Retsu Prey, and some people, like, you know, another thing I had seen too is during Retsu Blitz, like, recently I've seen people say, like, had discussed, like, oh, I don't remember that video. I was like, oh, it was during Retsu Blitz, it was this one. So it's possible too that when we were doing 3 a day, that might have even been too frequent.
Easier for stuff to fall through the cracks.
Right. Biscuit's notion was you do 1 to 2 videos a day. That's usually about where it's going. So when I asked him, like, well, what do you think about, I DM'd him on Twitter. I'm like, oh, you know, I said to him, like, we just pushed up a 30-minute video. We got another 30-minute. I don't know, you do this shit for a living. Like, what do you recommend, like, for that? And he was like, why don't you try a schedule where you say, like, you'll put one up at a set time, and then people can kind of expect when they come that way, you know? Kind of makes, like, helps them sort of fit it into their schedule in sort of a way, you know what I mean?
So in other words, you become a part of their daily routine.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but yeah, that's more or less the idea.
Or into a part of just any part of their routine.
Well, you know, I mean...
Daily, weekly.
No, there is something to be said for the whole daily routine thing, because, like, I don't know about you, but when I get into work, I do have, like, 2 or 3 websites or things that I do check, you know? Like...
Work-related, I hope.
Oh, yes, we're like the Something Awful.
Hopefully it's work.com.
Like Something Awful front page, right? Low tax, buddy? Hey. No, you know what I mean? Like, so... I was like, all right, let's give that a shot. And maybe it'd be something like a mini blitz, or maybe even something that we get more regularly into. So now we're trying out a weekdays 8 a.m. thing using YouTube scheduling kind of thing.
It's a handy thing.
Right. And like I said on Facebook, though, just to, you know, I would really, and I know you agree with this, we'd rather err on missing the schedule rather than just putting something up just to meet the schedule. Like,
yeah, it's more like when we get into a groove where we just do a lot of stuff and we feel good about it, instead of vomiting it out all at once, we can space it out a little bit, and then you guys kind of know when to expect it.
Mm-hmm. I know, by the way, a couple goons are not fans of the fact that I'm friendly with this Total Biscuit guy or whatever.
He's a controversial figure.
He is. For Something Awful, I think he is.
For Something Awful, right. And all I remember of him, I've never spoken to him personally or anything, because he's your best friend.
Oh, Jesus. You're my best friend. That's never going to change.
I'm editing that out.
You don't have to be jealous.
He had a very, I guess, bizarre one of his first posts on Something Awful. It's gas chambered there for posterity. It was from 2007, I think.
He made he basically did like 2 cardinal sins of your first post on Something Awful at once.
One, he announced his IQ.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, he was like
3. Okay, 3. But no. So this is all right. Since he's my best friend, I'll try to defend him here. But okay. Go ahead, Edgeworth. But no, yeah, all right. So he the first thing I was gonna say is, if you're gonna join Something Awful, the first thing you don't do is you never say, like, oh, hey, I'm Brandon, I'm new to the forums, because
this is my first post.
Yeah, like people, you'll see that in GBS, and everyone will kind of make fun of them. But even worse, he kind of and I'm really not sure exactly what his religious views are, but he brought up, like, how he felt the forums viewed religion versus atheism and why it's not that case. And I think part of it was something to the effect of, I'm not a stupid person, and hence whatever, you know. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And he signed his post.
So he was due to be banned immediately. No, right. I mean, I don't know. It was a bad post on Something Awful, and, you know, what can you do? I'll say this, though. So That's one of the things a couple of goons have pointed out to me whenever they see me like tweeting to them or early on or whatever. And another thing I'll get into in a bit. But the one thing I will say is that
Get back to Danganronpa!
yes, exactly. Unless he talks about Danganronpa, we don't even want to hear about him.
It's all I want out of you!
When he got his million subscriber video at one point, I remember, and I talked to him a little bit, but somebody had tweeted to me like, hey, something awful got mentioned on there. And I went to listen to it, and, he had mentioned, like, in terms of Let's Play and things like that, he sort of thanked Something Awful Let's Play for him, and for his being there. And in a couple of others videos, like, I think one of his content patch stuff, he's always been very, like, hey...
Yeah, that's what's kind of interested me about the whole thing, is that even though people on the forums were very repulsed at him, he seems very friendly towards the forums despite that. And I think he kind of respects the forums for their reluctance to be so friendly and welcoming to new folks.
Well, the thing is, I think the thing about SA is we do try to be kind of true to our values in a way. All right, that's a...
You already lost me.
That's a really shitty, schmarmy way to say it. But it's like, we are kind of consistent about... At least in Let's Play, that it's like...
It's etiquette. There's a certain kind of etiquette that is observed and kind of expected.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're going to put up a camcorder Let's Play, you have to be fucking hilarious. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's like, this is low-effort shit, you're here to promote your channel, go fuck off. Things like that. And if people are, like, post something bad, but they're kind of willing to say, like, all right, well, what was bad about it? And sort of meet you halfway... People then kind of open up, they get out, they kind of put down the pitchforks and go, all right, look, your editing kind of sucks here. You need to, like, encode it like this. Why don't you try telling your guest, you know what I mean? Like, then they kind of get helpful if you're willing to say, like,
as long as you have a little bit of self-awareness.
Or you're a little thick-skinned, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and if you are, then you'll find that they actually do kind of get off the high horse pretty quickly.
Yeah. Kind of same with Retsupre, too, with the LPer folks.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, yeah, absolutely. So... He, after that initial bad post or whatever, I'm not, I don't have his whole fucking Something Awful post history here, but he joined the LP forum for a while, and the one thing he credits is that he basically learned how to edit together his videos from Something Awful, specifically his, like, old Shining Force, I think, Let's Play or whatever,
I don't know, but okay.
Right. It's funny, though, because when I was talking to him on Twitter at first, like, I was like, I know this guy from somewhere, and it was something, I knew it was from Let's Play, and I remember then he got into a fight with somebody in the tech support for it, which is funny, because if you're going to get into an argument with anyone anywhere in Let's Play, that's, like, the last place I'd expect, because, with tech support shit, like, you're either right or wrong. There's not much room for subjective argument, but I just remembered that somehow.
Hey, bro, let's take this to the tech support fort.
I had completely forgotten this, but I ended up banning him, too.
Oh, you did?
I had forgotten that entirely, and he reminded me of it at one point, but,
Before he shoved your face in mud.
Right. So, the big thing that people on Something Awful, give him shit for, or at least kind of try to ward me away from, is his initial post, like, his first thread was bad, and, they felt like he basically always wanted to be an internet celebrity. And what's interesting about that is, if you listen to, again, that 1 million subs video he has, which for the record, too, he mentions he wasn't even that keen on doing, because he doesn't think subscribers are, like, a worthwhile number, but, like, a lot of his fans ask for it. But one of the things he mentions is, like, he actually just did this for fun. He used to work in finance in UK, and then got laid off from his job, and his wife was like, look, you really like doing these videos. Why don't you, like, while you're, like, I guess, on severance or whatever, why don't you just, like, try doing it more often? So, and he did, and he kind of got into the whole esports commentating stuff. So,
and then he got finance, right? Self high five.
But I don't know. I mean, according to his story, and I do believe him. I met the guy. He's a good guy, and he didn't always want to be like an internet celebrity. It was just one of those things.
Who does? Right? I mean, who does?
Well, what's funny is, because another thing that people, when the whole Nintendo copyright thing came about on Something Awful, a lot of people were like, who the hell would ever want to make a living out of this? And my take on it is, like, I have nothing morally against it. If you want to make money that way, go nuts.
It's just a very odd thing to shoot for.
I think for me, my issue is, especially now being, like, a homeowner, and I have... like my wife and, we're going to have kids eventually and stuff like that. And for the record, Biscuit does have a wife and kids to support. But, for me, personally, it feels like something that could be very unstable. Like, I mean, you never know. We could just get, like, 3 terms of service strikes on YouTube tomorrow, and Retsupre is gone, and we're back to square one. And we're not even trying to do something like that. So, like, if we ever made our living off of that, it's, like, so tenuous. I don't feel particularly comfortable putting my whole bankroll on that.
So ask your wife to step up. God.
Yes, exactly. Well, she's going to have to. But that said, Biscuit works in finance, so I guess he knows so I guess he knows what the fuck he's doing. No, so I don't know. I mean, I have nothing against it. It's a little tough for me. I'd love to, play video games for a living and things like that, but whatever.
It's a very new quote-unquote industry.
Yeah. I shouldn't say I'd love to do it, because I do like the fact that we do this for fun and you can just sort of walk away,
Yeah,
like
exactly. When you do it for a living, and we actually posted on our Facebook just to kind of put our feet in the water and see what people thought about, do you like the idea of scheduled videos or just like them randomly? And then kind of the number one thing was, well, we don't want you guys to feel like you're obligated to put up videos.
Sure.
To keep to a schedule, just do it when you want, and we're fine with that.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of merit to that, for sure.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing, too, you have to remember, too, Biscuit's not a Let's Player either.
Right. He actually is in the... I'm not clear on what his job is. But he is in the industry, more or less.
You'd call... Yeah.
Of video games journalism, I guess?
Yeah. And despite, like, being friendly with him, right, I do like to talk to him about, like, he is way more in the know when it comes to, like, the big-name YouTube partners and things
like that. Is he hiring? I mean, what?
Can I tell you, like, one thing I learned from him? Mm-hmm. And I'm not dissing anybody here, but Toby Turner, a.k.a. Toby Games.
Right.
Despite having has a bodyguard whenever he goes.
I thought you were about to say PhD.
PhD now. He might. I don't think so, but he might. No, he actually has a bodyguard whenever he goes to like events or whatever.
So he is the Justin Bieber of YouTube.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Or is it PewDiePie? I'm not sure.
Well. Well, it's funny, though. It was kind of a conversation we had when we had met up, because he happened to be in New York, basically, and I was just like, hey, whatever, I'm right in the area.
You flew to London to meet him.
I flew to London, right?
We know.
No, and there was this topic we got into, because he was like, I don't mind being an asshole sometimes on the internet. If you ever, like, look at his Twitter, he gets into, like,
he's very happy to engage people.
Yeah, and, like, engages and fight people.
Right.
Engages in combat. No.
Engages in promise to marry.
Right, but like one of the things he was saying is like that. I think that he was mentioning, part of the reason maybe that people kind of feel like, or the reason Toby Turner needs a bodyguard, or the reason that or I guess the discussion I'm trying to get at is this sort of quote unquote e-celebrity kind of thing that we're very minorly in, that he's kind of in, or he is in, and PewDiePie, all those people, It's funny because the way I personally see it, it's like you get all the bad shit that comes with fame and not really any of the good. Like, you get stalkers and people who, like, kind of act weird around you. Not that we have stalkers, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, if Toby Turner needs a bodyguard because he goes to meetings and people do that, that said, if you go into Times Square and you ask people, like, have you ever heard of Felix, whatever his PewDiePie, or you ever heard of PewDiePie? Odds are people are going to say no. And nothing against him. Like, if you ask, you ever heard of John, Total Biscuit guy? No. Did you ever hear of Mike from Retsupre? No. You know what I mean? Like, your average person doesn't know. It's all this subculture. But you still get those people who are, like...
within that subculture who are very zealous.
Yeah, and I think what happens is, what we're discussing is, people, I think, maybe build up an image of a celebrity, or an e-celebrity, or whatever you fucking call it, in their mind, and if that person doesn't meet their expectations, they can if they're crazy, they can kind of feel betrayed.
And snap.
Right, yeah. So...
and then you got a creepypasta on your hands.
Yeah. So Biscuit's whole thing is, like, I don't mind acting like an asshole, because then I don't get people who, like, fucking love me too much. Which is like, okay, that's not a bad idea.
I never thought of it that way, actually. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, right? Like,
yeah.
So now I don't mind that you're the person that everyone likes in Retsupre. Basically, you're kind of that. You're my Secret Service agent without realizing, more or less.
I gotta make some tweets.
Or maybe if you walk behind me at PAX, I'll be yours. So
okay, that's fair.
Diabetes, you didn't live up to me. You're not really diabetic. Bang. But
like, no, I'm slow beef.
Right. It is right. Like Toby does make money off this. That's probably his big Again, not dissing him, not saying anything like that. I'm just saying, like, that's probably his big positive thing from his quote-unquote celebrity. But,
Yeah, he doesn't have to do anything else.
yeah, there's no... I don't know that people... Maybe they are. I don't... Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know that people would know him, though, on the street and just say, hey, how are you, or whatever, you know what I mean? It's all kind of in this virtual world in the subculture. Same with PewDiePie, you know? But you do get the negative of that.
So how do people in the subculture know where he is that he would need a bodyguard?
No, I'm saying when he goes to events.
Oh, like the Comic-Cons and PAXs?
Yeah, exactly.
Where
yeah.
he would obviously be, okay.
Yeah, Biscuit was mentioning someone I think he had done videos with. Name starts with a G, and I'm completely blanking on it right now. But they went to PAX, and like this woman who was a huge fan of the guy was getting really like pushy and creepy with him, and they had to remove her from PAX for this stuff. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I don't think, I mean, nothing like that's really ever happened to us, thankfully, because we are no one. But
no, everyone who's come and met us has been extremely friendly.
Absolutely, yeah. I guess that's the story about how, I don't know, I started, like, talking to Biscuit and shit, you know? I personally have no problem with him. He's always been pro something awful, and I just haven't, you know... I've certainly made shit posts on SA, you know, so...
Sure, I have as well.
Yeah. So, whatever. Now I hypocritically ban people for it. But at the very least, it's usually about Danganronpa.
How does it work?
I'm sorry?
How does it work?
How does Danganronpa work?
Yeah, what is it? What is a Danganronpa?
Oh, we've talked about this a million times. Danganronpa is my personal hell.
Sure.
It's very funny because I have never... it's the second time in my life, actually, that I have disliked something video game related solely because of the fans.
I was shocked because it felt like the second part of it was going on for so long. And I asked you at one point, well, how far is the thread at this point? And you said chapter 2.
Yeah, it's not...
And I was, huh?
Yeah, the OP is purposefully keeping it, I think, under wraps how long the game is. The first game was 6 chapters. They're on chapter 2, and it's been going on since December, I think.
And the thread is hundreds?
Oh, yeah.
Pages?
Hundreds of pages. Like,
yeah, for 2 chapters.
Uh-huh.
And so by 2 chapters, we mean one update is prologue, one update is chapter 1, one update is chapter 2, or are there sub-chapters?
There are sub-chapters. So, with the exception of the prologue, it starts out... I guess you can call it normal days, but it has the ab in front of it in parentheses. Kind of like... I guess the way I read it is sort of implying things are weird, but not super weird. And that's... just like a setup thing. Then what happens is someone gets murdered, and you go into full-on abnormal days, which is part 2 of the chapter. And then you go into school trials, which is part 3 of the chapter. So we are on abnormal days in chapter 2, meaning the second part of chapter 2. So we still have school trials to go, and then we'll be on chapter 3.
Didn't follow the word of that, but okay.
Okay, all right. But you know, I mentioned this is the second thing, and this is just to make this a little interesting to people who don't care about Danganronpa so much. Did you ever watch Zero Punctuation?
Yeah, I used to.
Yeah, me too.
Yahtzee's a fan of Red Spray, isn't he?
He is, and I'll say too, I've started watching it again recently, and it is very funny. But there was a time I stopped, and I didn't like it, and it had absolutely nothing to do with him.
Oh, is he also your best friend?
No, he isn't at all. No, he hates me. No, okay. I don't know. What happened was he had done a review, but this is back in the day, of Metal Gear Solid 4. Like I said, the guy's funny, I like him and stuff, but I wasn't a fan of that one. And on the Zero Punctuation thread in Something Awful, I think like a couple people kind of were like, this wasn't quite his best one, which is fine, you know. I mean, everybody has an off day or whatever. But his fans were like bending over fucking backwards to defend it.
Oh, in the Something Awful thread even?
Yeah, especially in the Something Awful thread, where it's like, oh, Metal Gear 4 doesn't have enough game to make fun of, and like, Metal Gear Solid 4 is barely anything. It's like, if you can't make fun of a Metal Gear Solid game, wow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, looking back on it, I think maybe it seemed like he focused a lot of his stuff on Act 1, whereas the really fucked up shit comes, I think, in Act 2 and beyond.
Yeah.
And he did play through the game, because if you look at Fully Ramblematic, his blog, he had mentioned, like, something shit about the ending he didn't like. But whatever. The point is, I was, like, really put off by the fans, and I'm like, you know, the whole point of SA in games is, like, you're supposed to not just be this rabid fanboy kind of thing. You're supposed to be able to have, like, a normal fucking discussion about it.
Sure.
But nobody was having that, you know. So, and then the other thing is he had a Bionic Commando review. You know how they remade it before Bionic Commando Rearmed, that is.
Yeah, someone actually gifted me that on Steam.
I really like that game, by the way.
I haven't played it, though.
The first one. I heard the second one's terrible, but
Oh, well, never mind.
Right. And he mentioned this whole thing with retro game. You know, he doesn't like how certain holdovers from old video games like Lives are still a part of things. And I think he has a very good point there. I was just kind of like, I don't know, like Bionic Commando Rearmed is a hell of a game, like when it comes to, you know, like I think they were very smart in Rearmed about the old stuff they brought in and the new stuff they brought into it. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
So I just felt like that was kind of like maybe not the best example of that. So I brought that up, and then people got pissed at me for bringing it up, and I'm just like, I'm fucking done with this, you know?
I'm gonna go mod Let's Play.
I'm gonna go mod Let's Play where I understand things. No, this is before I modded Let's Play, but, oh, no, it wasn't, actually. I'm sorry, it wasn't.
You've always modded Let's Play, so... Danganronpa's been around since the dinosaurs.
That's the creepypasta twist, is I've always modded Let's Play. No, but it was one of those things, too, where I got really then turned off from Zero Punctuation, as in I didn't find it sexy anymore, because of the fans. And it's like, it sucks because that's totally not Yahtzee's fault at all. And in fact,
exactly.
Yeah, and even though I disagree with the 2 episodes, he's still funny, and it's still this, you know what I mean? Whatever, so... I kind of forget where so Danganronpa, yeah, so, I derailed far there.
Welcome back to the Danganronpa podcast.
Exactly. No, I mean, there's nothing, so, I guess similarly, I mean, although Yahtzee's better than Danganronpa too, but, no, alright, enough. Similarly, though, I mean, there's nothing really wrong with the Danganronpa 2 Let's Play. That is the contributions by the author, by the people helping him with it.
Yeah,
it's really...
everybody else.
It's everybody else, yeah. Yeah, people are insane. Did you know, for example, I make a lot of money off banning people who don't like
I heard you literally making a living off of it.
Oh, yeah, yep. Yeah. I am literally making a living off of shitting on other people's work. I guess that's Retsupre and Danganronpa somehow.
Yeah. It's, kind of an all-encompassing job position.
Oh, you're going to post this weekend, right?
I don't know. Are we trying to, speaking of scheduling...
Oh, yeah.
Are we trying to do regular feature podcasts now? I feel like we've really talked about nothing, but somehow almost an hour's gone by.
I know. I don't know yet. I'd like to play it by ear more just because I'm going to be done with class on August 8th.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm not 100% sure on my availability through then. Let's shoot for it. Let's shoot for a weekly, and then
next week I can make a bunch of silly noises and talk about Happy Wheels into a microphone for an hour and have that be episode 26.
We'll just call it Easy Money 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though we don't make any money from the podcast. Yeah.
Why don't you just get Total Biscuit on the podcast? Why don't you just steal one
He's not my best friend!
Why don't you just steal one of his videos and post it on our channel? And do the same for Yahtzee while we're at it. We'll call it British Monday and Australian Tuesday.
I'll just do my best Total Biscuit impression and try to emulate one of his videos. Oh, I don't think this game's very good. WTF is this bullshit, right? Oh, crikey, royal baby. His name Biscuit. Yeah, how's that?
That was actually after when I saw him in New York. I said hi, and that was exactly what he said back to me.
Well, actually, he just came into my room and said that into the microphone. And now he's gone. Taking a plane back right now.
Well, you like to moderate Let's Play, yeah? Well, when you're going to do it, maybe you should not ban people, yeah?
I'm not sure what country me accent's from now.
Crikey,
that was
the
mate.
Worst impression I've ever done.
I'm quite cynical here.
But yeah, no, I literally hate Danganronpa now, and it's totally not Danganronpa's fault. There's an anime, I watched a little of one episode, and I'm like, I just don't care anymore.
So has Oren Ronan leaked to you how long the game is? You don't have to say how long, but I'm asking that because are you doing kind of a tick thing, like you're in prison and marking off how much time goes by until you're free?
Nah, I'll be 100% honest. It's gotten better, the thread. It's usually just like one major event happens like once every 2 months, and it's like, but I don't know how long the game's gonna last. I kind of don't want to because the thing that interested me most about the game is the murder mystery aspect. I like to kind of like wonder who's gonna die next and then how they were killed and all that. And I don't really give a shit about the whole, how did this get set up? Who's controlling the school? Why is this like? I don't give a fuck. It's gonna be some stupid anime reason.
And there's a reality TV show now about people who get killed.
Yeah. Huh?
It's called Who Done It.
Is there?
Yeah, people don't actually die. It's all fake.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
everybody on the show knows it's fake, but it's a terrifying murder mystery show.
So they stole the idea of Danganronpa.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
It's an animated reality show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason I wanted to bring up our podcast regularity is maybe then by now you might have seen we have 2 Danganronpa videos up. One featuring my internet boss Lotax,
Right.
who has gotten into with Schmorky has now gotten into his own brand of Let's Play, where he makes fun of shitty games he finds off like Game Maker kind of sites.
Yeah, they're really funny videos. I'd recommend you watch them.
Actually, they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because he can fire me from my not paying job.
Lotax was also kind enough to edit the second video.
Yeah, he's actually kind of amazing.
An audio savant, yeah.
He really is, yeah. Like, I remember back in the day when we did Webcam Work, he walked me through doing all, like, this audio shit with, like, Goldwave and Sony Vegas and all that stuff.
And then you threw all that out the window.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, like, oh, fuck that, yeah.
I'm on Mac, nothing applied. So, no, but, like, it's funny because, everything the Let's Players call, like, auto-ducking, or everybody on the say, apparently the real term is side-chaining. And that's like, he's like, yeah, and he like didn't even look at the tech support for it or anything with auto ducking. He just kind of knew. He's like, yeah, I use sidechaining to like lower the game whenever we're talking. And he does like a thing which is interesting because he said he put our voices, so it was me, him, and Mr. DJB, and he said he put, I think, mine right, his left, and DJB in the middle.
Yeah, and you can kind of hear that, like subtly, not like all right or all left, but kind of vaguely. It's weird.
That's the thing, because
But it doesn't sound bad. It sounds pretty good.
It doesn't sound like I'm completely on your right channel. It sounds more like it kind of takes advantage because my headphones are good or something, but like it kind of takes advantage of like a sort of surround feature where it feels like we're at different places in a room.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's like it's something that I want to consider trying to emulate maybe for our future videos, but I'm very lazy.
Right.
No, absolutely. No, yeah, but he's getting into Let's Play now, which, only took him like 6 fucking years.
About time.
But, yeah, so I'm hoping, he can do some... I want to get him in on a creepypasta, honestly.
Do you think he'd be game for it? He apparently hopped into a Danganronpa Retsu with no problem. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the litmus test. It's like,
yeah.
Either A, that means he'll just do anything, or B, I've ruined it and he won't do anything else.
Well, you just did the worst thing in the world. Do you want to do something better?
Yeah, basically.
Hey, good.
Right. It was funny, though, because we had a sort of weird after talk after the video, where I think he was trying to concede, like, okay, maybe this, meaning Danganronpa, maybe this could be interesting to certain people. I'm like, you're never gonna like it. Don't even worry. Mr. DJB, maybe. I don't think. But I was actually considering maybe doing a third video where I try to play it straight and actually legitimately try to defend Danganronpa to the two of them.
I'd watch that.
Right. But they both, or Mr. DJB at least, liked the fat character, Yamada, the fanfiction author guy, because it turns out that was actually a character, as far as I understand it, invented by the game designers to make fun of anime fans.
Oh.
Yeah, they're kind of like, I think these are going to be our fans. Let's just openly mock them. So.
And the thread proves that?
I guess so.
Right.
No. So there's that.
That there is.
Do we hit everything we wanted to?
And
more.
Pretty much. I played Mega Man Unlimited recently, but I don't know if that's worth talking about right now.
It's not. Who gives a shit?
No. And Tomb Raider, I'm playing that right now.
No. The original Tomb Raider?
No, the newer Tomb Raider.
Oh, right.
During the Steam sale, it got cut down from $50 to $12.75, and I bought that shit.
Nice.
It's really fun. Kind of it's Uncharted levels of adventure fun time.
Do you still wince whenever Lara Croft dies?
Kind of.
Okay.
A little bit. She's had a very bad day.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ.
I think it's something I tweeted when I was playing. I'm surprised the piano didn't fall on her at some point. During the opening part. It was ridiculous.
Be assured if it did, it would have been very gory and hard to watch.
Right.
Not even a little cartoony. Like her head would have been out like, all of my dreams will never come true or something horrible.
It'll be like a piano falls on her, then a boat crashes into her, then a plane falls on her, then an asteroid hits her, and then the Earth explodes.
And then you say, something's wrong with my copy of Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
I don't remember this happening.
Something's not right here.
One day I should stream and you should try to read a couple of these.
I'm down.
All right, cool.
I could record audiobooks of creepypastas.
You could be my you could be the Vincent Price to my Elvira. That didn't come out right.
I don't think I'm comfortable with that, actually. At all. Yeah. So the podcast is back.
Yay.
Yay.
Tune in next time where we talk about Total Biscuit for the entire hour.
To the Total Biscuit Show.
The Total Biscuit Danganronpa mix.
I don't like this Danganronpa one bit. Here's why WTF reviewed it. I'm quite cynical about anime.
God blimey, Governor. You're saying this bear murdered Toby Games?
I recall this video for the Queen. She don't like anime.
They just had a baby. Crikey. Wanker. What's the thing a stereotypical British people say?
Let me go to the lift and upload me video.
I left me recorder in the boot of me car with the crumpets. What the fuck?
Sorry if I sound like me mouth is stuffed, but I'm full of fish and chips.
It's a good thing there's no way to make fun of a Jersey accent.
Now let me read me creepypasta, Big Ben Drowned.
Because I'm a terrorist.
Crikey.
Alright, let's abort before this goes any further.
We're out of here.
Alright, take it easy.
There you go.